Okay, so in this video we're going to discuss acceleration lines and intermediate goals. So the instruction is to use Cingwin software to perform visual analysis, calculate and superimpose acceleration lines. And that's acceleration line, not celebration line. I get that every semester. Calculate and superimpose mean lines, calculate a mean and determine if the client met their goal in reducing the number of standard drinks by 50% by the second therapy session when compared to baseline. So same thing, we're going to start off with going to the Panther file and downloading role play client to my desktop. So I've already got Panther link opened, and I'll go to role play client, right click and save link as, and save it to my desktop. And again, opening it with Cingwin, not clicking on it. So when you open up Cingwin, you click File, Open File, and drop down to the desktop and role play client. And here we go. All right, so the first thing that you always want to do is look at the graph. So I'm going to click Graphs, Line Chart, Baseline Intervention, and we're going to be searching for trends here. So if you look at this graph, I'm just going to copy and paste this one out into my notes already. So I'm going to hit Edit Graph, Copy Graph. So the first question is, by employing visual analysis only, is the client's problem improving, or is there no change in the client's problem? So in order to superimpose the acceleration line, I'm going to go back and click Graphs, Acceleration Line, and Baseline Intervention. And here's where it superimposes my acceleration line. And we can see here from the intervention that the intervention phase was associated with an accelerated rate of reduction in the problem behavior. So I'm going to copy and paste out this graph. So I hit Edit, Copy Graphs, and I'm going to put this one right below. And it says, by looking at baseline and intervention acceleration lines, is the client's problem improving, or is there no change in the client's problem? So again, you can look at this graph and write it up. Again, I've got examples of how to write up acceleration lines in different tutorial and in my PowerPoint slides. All right, but it also says, for 11, it says, with the role play client, and to accommodate their intermediate means, compute and superimpose mean lines for both baseline and intervention data, and then copy and paste out the graphs with the descriptive statistics. So I'm going to close out this graph, and I'm going to open a new graph. So graph, central tendency, mean, and here we've got our mean graph. So I'm going to copy and paste this out as well. So edit, copy graph, and I'm going to paste it in here. And from this graph, we can see that it looks like there was a statistically significant difference from baseline to the mean, but let's check that out in our descriptives. So we'll click on Statistics, Descriptives, Baseline, and here we've got our baseline mean was 4.30, and the range was 7 minus 2 is 5. And our intervention mean, statistics, descriptives, intervention, and we can see our mean was 1.57, and we have a range of 4. So back to the question, is there no change in the client's problem, or is it improving? And based upon this, I would say that it's definitely improving, and they've most likely reduced their drinking by 50%. So let's check that out. So the last question is, did they meet their intermediate goal of decreasing consumption by 50% by the second therapy session when compared to baseline? So how we can do this is click Statistics, Effect Size, D-Index, and we can see that there's a 46.9% decrease, which is really close to their goal, not quite. But we could say that there was a 46.9% decrease from baseline to intervention, which you could probably round to be really close to their intermediate goal.